everybody, welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back with an interesting survival video. Now, the topic that I want to talk about in this video today is what a lot of people commonly refer to as the rule of threes. Now, when you do research on the rule of threes, whether it's online or whether it's through printed materials such as newspaper or maybe a book or a magazine ad or something like that, when you look at the rule of threes, most people refer to the rule of threes as covering 4 aspects. Now, I'm going to take my thoughts and I'm going to add 3 more, so we're going to have a total of 7 rules of 3. This is how I interpret them. This is my own little twist on them, and I'm going to share that with you today. Now, the first rule that I like to talk about is 3 seconds without oxygen. 3 seconds without oxygen to the brain causes unconsciousness due to lack of oxygen. Now, some of you might be sitting there thinking about that, and you might be thinking, there's no way I can sit underneath the pool for 40 seconds. Okay, folks, all I'm going to say is I'm not going to get into how that happens in this video. I'm going to reserve that for another video, but I'm going to tell you once again, 3 seconds without oxygen causes unconsciousness. The second rule of 3 that I like to talk about is 30 seconds without oxygen. This could cause, obviously we're still in the process of unconsciousness, and then the next thing that happens on this 30-second one is we start to enter the process of brain damage. And this could be irreversible, potentially fatal problem, unrecoverable damage to the brain. That's my second rule of 3s. Again, this is caused by repeated or continued lack of oxygen to the brain. Now let's go to the third rule of 3s that I like to talk about. This is 3 minutes without oxygen. 3 minutes without oxygen to the brain, folks. This could cause death. Now again, this death could be caused by asphyxiation. It could be caused by strangulation. It could be caused by choking, by drowning. There's a lot of reasons why this 3 minutes without oxygen could kill you. Now, some of you might be sitting there and you might be thinking about these deep sea divers that they go down for 6 minutes and they hold their breath. Those are special elite athletes, okay folks? The average person will die in 3 minutes without oxygen to the brain. Now, let's talk about the fourth one. 3 hours. 3 hours of exposure, 3 hours without shelter could result in death. Okay, rule number 4. Now, this exposure could be a result of hyperthermia or hypothermia, depending on if the temperatures that you're in are hot or cold. So again, the fourth rule of 3 is 3 hours without shelter. Now, that shelter would be in reference to an extreme situation. For example, you might be walking around on a lake of ice and you fall through the ice and hypothermia kicks in and you die. Now let's talk about the 5th rule of 3s. 3 days without water. Rule number 5, okay? 3 days without water, folks, you could die. What causes the death? Dehydration. Let's go to rule number 6, the 3s, rule number 6. 3 weeks without food, ladies and gentlemen. This can cause death, and it's very simple. The death is happening as a result of starvation. Now let's talk about the rule of 3s, the 7th one, the last one. 3 months without companionship. This could cause death. Now, a lot of you are going to sit there and probably try to argue this point with me, but believe me, 3 months without companionship, the result of that would be death. What's the cause of the death? Loss of hope. So you want to think about a movie like Castaway, for example, where the guy was on the island and he was by himself and he didn't have nothing, and a lot of time went by and he had a soccer ball, Wilson, and he talked to that. That was his companionship. That's why he didn't go crazy and give up, because if you lose hope, you die. You can also think of another example, such as maybe there's a war, and there's a soldier, and he's in the front lines of the battlefield, and it's a very extreme environment that he's in. A lot of people would probably give up, but a person like this, he might have a picture of a loved one that he looks at repeatedly, and that keeps him focused, and that gives him motivation, and he does not lose hope because of that. If you don't have hope in a survival situation for 3 months' time, you could die. Now, all of these rules of threes that I just talked about in this video, they vary a little bit. This is just an average baseline to go by in reference to these rules, and this is my personal interpretation of them. I could be right, I could be wrong. I'm not a survival expert, but I do have some common sense, and I do have a lot of experience. Now, stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to talk about how in 3 seconds a person can go unconscious. So I want to say thank you for watching the video today. I hope you got some good, useful information out of it. Please feel free, as always, to like, share, thumbs up, subscribe, check out my Facebook page, give that a like if you would, and please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And until next time, let's not lose hope. Let's keep those threes in mind all the time. God bless you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. We'll see you later.